Hey guys, what's going on? Tenebris here. Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we're going to be looking at this video that Three Arrows made on Jordan Peterson and why he kind of misrepresented him. Just this one particular clip. I'm not really going to go too in-depth with the rest of his video because that would take a bit too much time for me to do. Even though I do have other objections to his video. And I like to preface this by saying that I actually like Three Arrows. I like his content. I've watched a lot of his videos, but I believe that this video was completely, a mischaracterization of what Peterson was actually saying or what Peterson thinks. And let me just play a really short clip, and then I'll read an excerpt from Peterson's book and explain exactly why he doesn't know what he's talking about in terms of trying to describe Peterson's beliefs. So I'll first begin by playing a clip where Three Arrows accurately describes the way the Nazis viewed the world in terms of the Aryan race representing order and the Jewish people representing chaos. And then I'm going to play another clip right after that of him basically saying the exact same thing about how Peterson views the world in terms of male and female representing order and chaos. And then right after that, I'm going to read an excerpt from Peterson's book explaining how Peterson's views are nothing like how 3 Hours is portraying his views in this video. So without further ado, let's go.
Formations are built around a biological conflict between races, with the most prominent actors on the stage being the German or Aryan race, which represents order, progress, and civilization, and the alleged Jewish race, which represents chaos, decadence, decay, and destruction. Certain behaviors, attitude, and social positions of certain people as primordial, like for instance Peterson claims in his book 12 Rules for Life in stating, culture is symbolically, archetypically, mythically male, chaos the unknown is symbolically associated with the feminine, and further asserts that there are certain groups that are trying to disrupt the natural order of things with a nefarious agenda.
Now, as you can see, in my opinion, it seems that Three Arrows is trying to compare Jordan Peterson's views to the views of the Nazis. Even though at the end of the video he says he's not calling him a Nazi, he is definitely indirectly comparing him in his video. As you can see, those two clips, they're basically the exact same statement that one group of people represents order and the other group represents chaos. And he's trying to say that Peterson, by believing that the males represent order and the females represent chaos symbolically, is basically saying the exact same thing that the Nazis were saying. But this is completely false because of what Peterson says in his book. He very clearly says in his book that you need order and chaos in order to function in everyday life. And I'm going to read an excerpt right now of exactly what he's saying. And it's very clear to me that Three Arrows did not read the full 12 Rules for Life. Otherwise, he would have known this. But unfortunately, people don't do their research, so I guess I'll just have to point it out for you guys. Okay, everyone, so I'm going to begin by reading an excerpt from the section Chaos and Order, Personality Female and Male, that begins on page 38 of his book, and the quote is from page 40. So let's begin. Order, the known, appears symbolically associated with masculinity. This is perhaps because of the primary hierarchical structure of human society being masculine, as it is among most animals, including the chimpanzees, who are our closest genetic and arguably behavioral match. It is because men are, and throughout history have been, the builders of towns and cities, the engineers, stonemasons, bricklayers, and lumberjacks, the operators of heavy machinery. Order is God the Father, the eternal judge, ledger keeper, and dispenser of rewards and punishments. Order is the peacetime army of policemen and soldiers. It's the political culture, the corporate environment, and the system. It's the they, and you know what they say. It's credit cards, classrooms, supermarket checkup lines, turn-taking, traffic lights, and the familiar routes of daily commuters. Order, when pushed too far, when imbalanced, can also manifest itself destructively and terribly, as it does so as the forced migration, the concentration camp, and the soul-devouring uniformity of the goose step. Okay? So notice how not all of the language there was completely positive. And now I'm going to begin reading Chaos the Unknown. Chaos the Unknown is symbolically associated with the feminine. This is partly because all the things we have come to know were born originally of the unknown, just as all things we encounter were born of mothers. Chaos is matter, origin, source, mother, materia, the substance from which all things are made. This is completely dissimilar to the way that Three Arrows portrays Jordan Peterson's views. He's trying to portray him as saying that chaos is bad and order is good, but that's not at all what Peterson is trying to say in his book. But let's continue reading this. It is also what matters, or what is the matter, the very subject of matter of thought and communication. In its positive guise, chaos is possibility itself, the source of ideas, the mysterious realm of gestation and birth. As a negative force, it's the impenetrable darkness of a cave and the accident by the side of the road. It's the mother grizzly, all compassion to her cubs, who marks you as the potential predator and tears you to pieces. Chaos, the eternal feminine, is also the crushing force of sexual selection. Okay, alright, so now I'm going to skip a few pages ahead to page 43. We eternally inhabit order, surrounded by chaos. We eternally occupy known territory, surrounded by the unknown. We experience meaningful engagement when we meditate appropriately between them. We are adapted in the deepest Darwinian sense, not to the world of objects, but to the meta-realities of order and chaos, yang and yin. Chaos and order make up the eternal transcendent environment of the living. To straddle that fundamental duality is to be balanced, to have one foot firmly planted in order and security, and the other in chaos, possibility, growth, and adventure. So very clearly, Peterson does not have the same views that the Nazis had of the Jews. He very clearly is saying that you need both order and chaos. So I don't really know. I mean, it's very clear to me that Three Arrows did not read his book, unfortunately. But anyway, yeah, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like on it. I'm not sure if I'll be making more videos like this in the future, but I'll think about it. So I will see you guys later. Peace out.